Welcome to B&G's top troubleshooting tips for Primeline sprayers. These troubleshooting tips and others are also found on the B&G website at bgequip.com/primeline. Here you'll also find the repair guide. The gaskets that you'll find in this presentation are all available in the GD-124 repair kit. The two circled items, the soft seat gasket and the nozzle gasket, will cause leaking issues at the valve's nozzle, so carrying extras is a best practice. As a professional, the technician should always be prepared to troubleshoot. Here are the tools needed for troubleshooting the B&G Primeline sprayer: a Phillips screwdriver, a nylon brush, an adjustable wrench, and a 9/16" wrench. When a problem occurs, it could be for multiple reasons. This presentation will cover multiple ways to fix it, or areas to look at and inspect in order to solve the problem. Number 1 is our most common problem. The tank holds pressure but will not spray. It may be that the siphon tube came loose or is cracked and damaged. This may happen during transportation, but also with normal wear. Look inside of the tank and inspect the siphon tube. Make sure it's in place. The most common problem with hand sprayers is clogging. If it's not performing properly, clean out the filter. The filter is located where the handle meets the hose. In the area that's circled, detach, clean out the filters, and reattach. Let's take a look at the filters. Again, the strainer is located between the hose and the handle. After cleaning with a nylon brush, make sure strainer is put back so that the closed end is towards the hose. Though a technician often looks for clogs at the tip, it is not the most common place for a clog. The strainer is. If the strainer has been checked, then check the nozzle. Ensure it's free of debris and clean with a nylon brush. To ensure there's nothing in the tip, remove the tip assembly and clean it. This will save you time throughout the day and will result in a better repair and spray. After removing the tip assembly, you'll see the soft seat gasket. Make sure there's no obstructions in the gasket area that could be blocking the flow of the liquid. When replacing, ensure the soft seat gasket is placed hat side up, so it's touching the square nut coming out of the wand. Remember, if there's a clog, always start with your filter. Inspect your tips, but remember you're dealing with a brass tip. Hard items like safety pins, paper clips, and toothpicks can damage the brass and give a terrible spray pattern. Do not use them. Use a nylon brush. The last area to inspect, if there's no liquid coming out of the tank, is the hose washer. The hose washer could be damaged. Over-tightening could cause it to collapse on itself and block the flow of liquid. For our second troubleshooting problem, let's take a look at the opposite issue from the first. The tank doesn't hold pressure. If the tank isn't holding any pressure, the pump gasket could be the culprit. It may have become lost or is cracked. If it's cracked, you'll lose air pressure and the tank won't pressurize properly. If you're experiencing leaks from the brass top, the first thing to do is check a missing or damaged check valve at the bottom of the pump cylinder. Second, check the pump cylinder itself. There could be cracks caused by certain cleaners or insecticides. Though less likely, if the tank isn't holding pressure, the plunger cap and the pressure plate could be damaged. These are in the cylinder and should be inspected. The check valve can also provide issues. It plays an intricate part in the assembly. Always clean the bottom of the pump cylinder and replace the check valve if it's damaged. Let's review the pump mechanism. The pump gasket holds pressure in the tank. The check valve seals the bottom of the pump tube, preventing liquid from entering the tank, and pushes air into the tank, pressurizing it. The plunger cup should be replaced at least annually, as it wears down in typical use. Now, we'll troubleshoot when there's leaking around the handle, also known as the valve. When the handle starts to leak, the sprayer is telling you it's time to be rebuilt. For a gradual leak, simply tighten the packing nut a quarter turn. You don't need to tighten it all the way. That could result in a sticky handle and cause further leaks. The goal is to tighten it just enough to get you through the day before you have to rebuild your handle assembly. If your handle continues to leak after the quarter turn, it's time to replace all 3 of the washers. This part is a little involved. You'll notice in the photo that the whole trigger assembly has been removed. This is something you'll want to do on a bench or a clean surface in order to replace those. Also, consult training manuals and videos for any tips and tricks. Next, I'll show you a tip to remove these washers. To remove these washers, use a Phillips head screwdriver. Tap the back of the washer with the screwdriver so that you can unscrew the washer easily. The last washer, which is the deepest inside, may give you more trouble to get out. If so, use a pick or other small tool to get the 3rd washer out. This is why we recommend doing it at a bench or at an office where there may be more access to tools than out in the field. The Primeline sprayers were designed not to drip. This is why they have a tip shutoff. So let's discuss what could cause it to leak or drip at the tip. If the tip is leaking, it may be because the gasket was lost or is not set properly. When replacing the gasket, be sure to stand over a concrete surface to make it easier to find if dropped. Another reason for a leaky tip is a damaged soft seat gasket. To replace the soft seat gasket, remove the tip assembly. Use 2 wrenches to remove it to avoid bending the wand. Make sure it's put back properly with the flat side going towards the nozzle. Problem number 5 is the hose is leaking at the tank connection. If there is leaking at the hose, there could be a loose nut or a washer could be damaged. Tighten this in the field by giving it a quarter turn. When you're ready to replace it or you have another washer in hand, remove the hose and replace the washer. Sometimes the washer may be compressed inside the hose, and you'll need a pick or other device to remove the washer if it's stuck. Our last problem is a leaking hose at the swivel. On the Primeline sprayer, the hoses are designed to swivel. These hoses can wear out. If you notice leaking around the swivel area, the hose must be replaced. Refer to bgequip.com for a poster of the parts, a repair guide, and other helpful references for troubleshooting your sprayer. Thank you for using our products. All of us from B&G are here to help.